Well, it's time, YouTubers. I have been doing a lot of things around the house here, and I'm done. I'm done with all the things I've been doing around the house here. And I've been putting off working on this motor, which Todd rebuilt for me, which is going to go in the Rambler. And it's time to start that. In fact, I bought something that I can show you. And what I was going to say first of all is that I got to clean this mess up. This stuff over here, that stuff on the floor, and that table needs to be cleaned off because I want to have a place to put car parts, and all these things need to be cleaned up. And I'm going to walk you down. I'm going to walk you down. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down, and I'm going to show you what I bought yesterday. I went up to South Carolina and bought, well, some of you know I've been talking about putting power steering in the Rambler, and some of you know that I have a power steering box that fits the Rambler supposedly, and a pump and some pulleys and some pieces and parts and hoses and this and that. But I've also been studying on this thing that a lot of people are doing where they're using a Prius, a Toyota Prius steering column, which has power steering built into the column. And it looks exactly like this. And I know because I went up to South Carolina and bought one yesterday. And I've been studying on that a little bit. And I'm thinking probably the best time to make that swap is when the engine is out of that car. So what I want to do is I want to get that engine up there running on the engine stand, get the valve set, get everything ready, and then pull the engine out of this and do the steering swap. And one of the things I ought to do, need to do, should do, is take the battery out of this pontoon boat and take it up there in the garage and put it on the charger. That way I'll have it there to crank that engine with. Well, I'm not using the boat in the water this winter. I can use that battery that's in this thing for that motor. So I might as well just do that now. I believe I have a tool right enough in here, and I believe I can climb over inside of here, and I might need to, I don't know, I might need to leave my glasses somewhere or something. There's a little bit of water that's gotten on top of this tub. Yeehaw! I tell you what, I'll put you here and you can just watch. I'll leave my glasses here on the seat too. Oh, the boy. Well, it'd be nice if I had a flashlight. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to go get me a flashlight. So I can see over in there, but I can get it out. Oh, the joy. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. I'll leave y'all here while I go get one. Okay, y'all see me in there? I'm going that way. So y'all just stay here and guard the door for me. Oh, the joy. Success. I got the battery. That's a good battery right there. We'll be wanting to work on this boat at some point. I plan to put new plugs in it and suck the gas out of it. Put some fresh gas in it. In fact, I might do that. Take the gas out of this tank here and take it up there and use it to crank that engine with. And this is going to involve, it's just not going to be, you know, hook two wires together and pour some gas in it. It's going to be, I got to put the starter on it. I notice there's no dipstick in the dipstick hole. And I got to put that in. I got to make sure the starter lines up with the flywheel. And whew, whew, and just put the intake manifold on it. I got a carburetor that I want to try to run on it. Clean it out and rebuild it and put it on it. A lot of things like that. Battery's a little heavy. I might wish I'd brought my wagon. In fact, I could get my lawnmower and my little trailer and can pick up that battery, because I got things in that shed that could go out back in the junk pile. So, yeah, I think I'll do that. Oh, the joy. This is a wonderful day. Just look at the sunlight between the trees and the sky. Look at that sky. Oh, just look at it. That is a beautiful sky. The good Lord has given us, He's done given us a fine day here. And I got a feeling He's gonna give us a few more. Hey Daisy, I see you out in the yard. Hey. Oh, the joy. This old John Deere sure has been a blessing. Sure has. So this thing has a place for that battery to sit right there. Everybody just suggested we take a walk to the lake. Daisy loves going down to the lake, so I think that's a great idea. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, let's talk about Chevy starters. Way back in the day, the early Chevy starter bolted to the transmission. And that's a long time ago, before most of you were born. That starter that I bought would fit this motor, which is this is a 93 Corvette engine. That would fit this motor. Also, this rat rod, you would think, it's a 65 283. You would think it would have the like the 3 bolts, like what that motor up there I've got. This is what the underside of the rat rod looks like, which has 2 bolts here, and I believe this might have had 1, 2, 3 bolts. It might have had 2 back here and 1 up here. Now this is the Rambler. The Rambler has these bolts, 1 on one side, 1 on the other, and that's like this. Over here I've got a 69 that has the bolts here and here, so they're also, and it doesn't have a bolt hole over here. So anyway, long story short is the starter I've got would fit that car, but it would not fit, and it would maybe fit this car. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember how, because when I look at this, when I see that there's a bolt here on the outside, it runs up this way. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I think this one had a bolt hole way over here, and what I did was I might have ran a thing across from the other one to get to that hole, because it seems like my starter had to sit way over to fit that, but that means it had another hole across from that. I might have gotten y'all confused. I'm talking about starters and starter bolt holes and all that fun stuff, but bottom line is I need a different starter. I just went on and looked online, and I can order one for about 50 bucks. And you know, it's not a total loss, because the one I got here would fit the Studebaker, so it don't hurt to have another one. And this one is all fancy and chrome plated, but in the Rambler you're never going to see that fancy chrome plated stuff up under the motor, because where it sits down between the fenders, it wouldn't make no difference. So, but I do need to go order one, so I will. This setup here has a temperature gauge and a voltmeter. I don't think that's a volt. Is that a voltmeter or an alternator? It's a voltmeter. Good. I like that. And I might have a oil pressure gauge to go on here. And it has a key switch, and so I should be able to wire this thing up where I can turn the key, crank it. While I'm waiting for my starter to come, I can go ahead and got to get the intake manifold on it. I need to clean that carburetor and put it on there, get the distributor in it. Yeah, I got things to do. I also want to count the number of teeth on this flywheel. It says it's for 168 tooth flywheel. I'm guessing that's what this is going to be, but oh, we'll just count the teeth and make sure. I can't count the teeth on the back of the Rambler motor, because, well, let me think about it. Now this motor came out of the Rambler, and I don't think Todd changed that flywheel. I think that's the same flywheel that was already on it. I think so. Anyway, we'll find out. Okay, so much for that. I'm gonna need to kind of reshuffle my brain a little bit here with where I'm going, but I can do that too, because I'm big.